Hello everyone, this is Jim Okerzinski with your weekly lecture video. I really don't intend to use a lecture video for housekeeping issues, but however, this week's activity demands that I address a few issues here. So the annotated bibliography was due the end of day on Tuesday. As I move through the submissions, I really want to point out several items here. Some people seem to be confused on the depth and breadth of the assignment. Some people have not been able to find the assignment's instructions. Some people are not utilizing the drive folder as required in the syllabus. So I want to clarify everything by providing links, easy accessible links to the activity. All right. So as you can see here, I have the instructional video that's been attached to the EAB instructions in our announcement here. Also, there is a section about how to compose an annotation and what I'm looking for an annotation. There is another, that video link is posted there. Also, there's an example attached to the assignment's instructions. Okay, I've even had some issues like I don't know where to find the assignment instructions. All of this information was covered in earlier screencasts and orientation videos. Even the Drive tutorial and the Google Drive instructions is posted in several spots in the Blackboard shell here. So, I mean, you can find everything you need, all your resources in the course units. So if we look in week 3, chapter 2 course units, you not only have a YouTube video about citation, you've got the lecture video, and you have the research to the library, but more importantly, you have all the instructions here about the annotated bibliography, including the link to the instructional video, okay? Also, the what is an annotation, and I described the 3 parts. A large percentage of the annotations that are submitted are really kind of lacking. I should say the annotated bibliographies that are submitted are really lacking in the annotation department. I'm pretty clear in my expectations on the annotation. It's a 3-part process: introduce, summarize, and respond to. It is clearly demonstrated in the example. The example is right here, the PDF. You can open that up and look at that example. Since this is an online course, viewing the instructional videos and reading the instructions carefully and with purpose are required. That is the method and the way we deliver information to you, the student. So everything, like I said, is in the course units. Using and citing sources, I highlighted this in last week's lecture video. Here's a section here, and I set up a separate course unit for it about how to use the principles of citation as we move into the double entry journal and how we need to use and cite sources in the research essay draft, right? So I even have videos on how to go about using citing sources in this particular course unit. Take the time, set aside some time to review these videos. They are helpful to you. So week 4 and 5 in chapter 3's activities, I'll post up this lecture video once it's published. But we're going to move over to the discussion boards, and you will have discussion board number 8, the double entry journal. Is pretty straightforward. You will take 2 sources from your annotated bibliography about your research topic, and you will use them to create the double entry journal as is described on pages 97 to 103. This activity is designed for you to say back to a source, as Ballinger talks about it in the textbook. He's looking for you to interact with either a quote, a summary, or a paraphrase. You need 3 excerpts from each source, so you need 6 total entries, and you need a entry quote on one side of the column on the left-hand side and your commentary on the right-hand side. A commentary must correspond to that particular quote. You cannot write one general commentary about your particular um, quote or topic there, or source. All right, so I want to get to the curious researcher, and we've all done the triad discussion board. You want to make sure that you use your, the voice of others and use responsibly, and that really is where we get into attribution, the principles of citation as described in the course unit. Okay, so you can take words of the source, but you have to really decide what you want to use as way of attribution tags. There are very helpful phrases in the textbook to help you introduce source material, but once again, I need to know where the information from your source starts and stops as we get to using it in the research essay. Okay. It matters not only on an ethical issue, but it's a way of all of us for even your peer reviewers to understand exactly where your words stop and the words of others pick up. So it's very, very important that we understand the plagiarizing factor here. And it's always an issue when it comes to the research essay and working with to the words of others. Common knowledge exception is something you might want to read in the textbook. Take a good hard look at what considered common knowledge. In that instances, it doesn't have to be cited. So you want to make sure that you're aware of that. Once again, we've all done the discussion board and looked at that note taker's triad about paraphrasing, summarizing, and quoting. That's the purpose of the double entry journal, is for you to start working with some of the sources. I suggest that you even work with several other sources to pull together the kind of evidence that you need for your research essay. I think it's important to understand what paraphrasing is. I know I mentioned it in last week's lecture video about the taxonomy of copying. So you want to make sure that you turn around and are clear on what the triad is. All right. So this is just a brief example of what the triad activity would be. My regular courses, I end up using 5 sources, but for this discussion board here, we're only going to use 2 for this activity that's due Friday end of day. I hope this clarifies the EAB, where to find information, giving you easy access to the resources and the videos that are available to you so that you can execute all the necessary activities moving forward. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Good luck.